Well, I'm expecting to piss off a lot of people today with this particular video. So this is an argument that fans of the Resident Evil series have pretty much all the time, and whether or not Resident Evil is good with the fixed camera angles or whether or not it's good with the third person over the shoulder camera angle. Personally, I feel neutral about it, although I would generally lean towards the fixed camera angles, but that's just personal bias. I generally like to stay neutral on the topic of camera angles. And I mean, that being said, the whole idea of saying a game is good based on its camera angles is absolutely subjective. The game could be absolute garbage and have fixed camera angles. That wouldn't necessarily make it better. It's almost as like saying putting in zombies in a Resident Evil game would make it better all of a sudden, when that doesn't necessarily make a Resident Evil game to begin with. Neither side is wrong or right. It's just that I feel as though a lot of people bring in their personal bias, whether it be fixed camera angles, oh, it's better because that's when the series was good, and a fair point, but that doesn't necessarily mean a good Resident Evil game can't come out of a game that was an over-the-shoulder third-person game, whereas, you know, vice versa, it's better to have the over-the-shoulder third-person camera angle because it controls better. If you're just looking solely on camera angles, I mean, the best way to go about this is don't look at the game's camera angles and rather focus on the game's atmosphere and story. Because if the game's atmosphere and story isn't a survival horror, then it fails to do its job. Because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. Camera angles are very subjective. And Capcom is partially to blame on this front because, I mean, we know that they can do both. We know that. I mean, look at Lost in Nightmares and Resident Evil 5. You can play in the fixed camera angle if you wanted to. And not to mention, there's also mods for Resident Evil 4 that allow you to play in a fixed camera angle. So saying that both can't exist is absolutely absurd. However, to say one is better over the other just because certain games using the over-the-shoulder third-person camera angle were bad is kind of stupid. And vice versa. To say that old-school Resident Evil with fixed camera angles is bad just because of tank controls is, again, kind of stupid, because all it is just a certain gameplay feature that should be standard. I mean, both camera angles should be standard from now on at this point, given that no one really can agree on which camera angle should stay. As far as I'm concerned, everyone's just wasting their time arguing about camera angles that don't really matter as far as Resident Evil goes, and honestly, they should be arguing about atmosphere and whether or not the atmosphere is good in Resident Evil games anymore or not. You know, if I haven't said it before, I'll say it now. If the Resident Evil 2 remake has the over-the-shoulder third-person camera angle, I don't mind it as long as the atmosphere and story of the original game is there. And that's all that really matters to me. And honestly, if you're gonna say you're not gonna play a game over a camera angle, that's kind of stupid. It's not as major as saying, oh hey, let's downright reboot Resident Evil, redesign all of your favorite characters, and have Ninja Theory handle the story and gameplay. Now is it? Anyways, hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you don't already, you can follow me on Google+, Twitter, and on Twitch, and hopefully we can all have a discussion rather than all being butthurt about the fact that a camera angle is gonna make a game better or not. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. I'm done.